And then let's not forget about the healthcare either. You go to you look at some of the health outcomes in some of these inner cities that these Democrats have run monopolistically for decades, and you stand a pretty darn good chance of dying in one of these inner cities, far more likely than if you lived in areas where they gave a damn about people and their healthcare outcomes. And then you have education. Don't even get me started on that one.
We won't, because as you'll see, it would just be filled with misinformation. So that is Dan Bongino, who is talking about how cities that have been run for decades by Democrats have worse outcomes. And he talked about multiple different areas, but one that he focused on there was health outcomes. He says you're likely to die far more likely than other places because other places care about your health, not there. And he listed this graphic, 10 most unhealthy US cities. And you can see there that includes things like San Francisco and San Diego, which I don't generally think of as a particularly blue city, but whatever. Seattle and Portland and Austin and Portland, Maine and all that. And so I thought that was weird because Austin I think of as a very healthy place, but no, it's been ruled by Democrats. So you will die almost instantly if you go there. Except that there's an issue with that graphic because he actually put Wallet Hub down as the source for the information. It's available in that first graphic. And when you go to Wallet Hub, you find this, a list of the healthiest places to live in the US. And that is what he was putting up on his graphic. It is not the most unhealthy, it is the healthiest. Now, in a later airing of the show, they didn't put up that graphic. In place of it, they put B-roll footage of homeless people. So that's better, I guess, for Dan Bongino to be doing that. Now they did say, spokesperson put out a comment saying on Saturday night's episode of Unfiltered with Dan Bongino, a graphic was aired with inaccurate information on the unhealthiest cities in the country. We regret the error, which will be corrected on next week's program. Quick little note, it was known as Unfiltered with Dan Bongino, but the graphics did need to be filtered on the replay of his show. So anyway, look, he made this mistake, Adrienne. What do you make of it? The fact that he would let this slip through totally unintentionally or whatever.
So busy trying to push this agenda that it's like you didn't even do a basic fact check or maybe just reading. I'm dying to know who produced that show, who put all this stuff together. And the fact that he's sitting here essentially calling attention to all these cities and it's completely the opposite of what he's saying. It's laughable. And if people are still watching that show, that's a them issue.
I agree. It's likely that he's just gonna blame some anonymous producer and fire them or whatever, when obviously these are thought of as healthy places. Portland, Seattle, Austin, like you think of these as places where people, so like if you understand like American politics, American society, you should have had like a warning sign go off in your head. But the thing is, I don't care so much about the graphic problem. I'll even accept that maybe they did it unintentionally, even though that shows they have a laughable operation over there. I'm more interested in the fact that there's gonna be a correction, because I am not interested in a correction that says, we goofed, sorry about that. I want you to have the courage to actually engage with the error that you made. Because you didn't just show that graphic, you chose that graphic to prove a point. And the point was that blue cities don't care about people's health outcome, and they produce death traps for people. You thought that that was the point you were making. The evidence shows the exact opposite. Some of these blue places, and we could debate some of these examples, like I said, San Diego or whatever, actually turn out healthier people. I'm not interested in you just admitting that. I want you to think about it. Why? Why are people healthier there? Why are they healthier in places that Democrats rule? By the way, it might have nothing to do with the fact that Democrats rule. It might be a socioeconomic thing. It could be a regional thing. It could be a demographic thing in a lot of different ways. I'm not saying that you have to accept the narrative that I might say about it, but you should actually think about what this represents, because this is an opportunity for learning, evolution of the sort you'll spend all this week, Dan Bongino, praising Joe Rogan on. What if you were to do a little bit of it? What if you were to integrate this into your ideology and maybe learn a bit? Adrienne, I do not expect that will happen, but I do think that it is an opportunity for growth.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen either, but it would be really great if they were in some way authentic or engage in any kind of journalistic integrity, and to actually dissect this and to explain to viewers why these circumstances are the case. I think there is a lot you could definitely say when you look at the root cause of why these are the healthiest cities, and also if you look at the demographics of who's there and who's not there, how much they make, the medical community that's there to support it, all of these things that will essentially undermine a lot of Fox's tropes and show you what disparity looks like, but also what prosperity can look like.
Yeah, and like think ideologically. Like, do you want there? So, do we give a damn if you live or die? Do you want there to be mask mandates? Do you want there to be vaccine mandates? Do you think we should have smoking bans? Do you think we should enforce drunk driving rules? Do you think we should encourage people to eat healthier? To have healthier habits, no, you don't believe in any of these things. So why would you be surprised by these results? And by the way, super fast, and I apologize to these areas, and this is a mixed bag. But the list of the actual top 10 unhealthiest cities, is anybody curious about that? Well, it depends where you look. But Becker's Hospital Review last February said Brownsville, Texas, Laredo, Texas, Gulfport, Mississippi, Shreveport, Louisiana, Memphis, Tennessee, Montgomery, Alabama, Fort Smith, Arkansas, and Jackson, Mississippi. Which is different than the list Business Insider has, which is things like Oklahoma City, Detroit, Mesa, Arizona, Philly, San Antonio, Texas, Indianapolis, San Jose, Jacksonville, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Phoenix, Arizona. I think there's some learning maybe we could have there. It's certainly a mixed bag, and it ain't all political, by the way, but I don't know. Like, this stuff isn't just a game. These aren't playing pieces. This is actual data from which we can learn.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.